Macklin Celebrini, what can't you do?
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, caretaker at the Reef, also the co-host of Locked On NHL. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Proudly part of the Locked On Network, we cover your team every day. And if you want to be an everyday, all you have to do is just follow wherever you get podcasts, or you can watch on YouTube as well. And today we're breaking down, a casual 5-point Macklin Celebrini night as he scores his first career NHL hat trick. A Will Smith goal and 3 assists, an insane 8-7 overtime loss to the Minnesota Wild, and your San Jose Barracuda are now 1 point away from clinching a playoff spot. So we have to, of course, start with Macklin Celebrini. Celebrini, you knew this moment was coming, right? Of this just explosion in offense where you knew it was coming, right? You've seen he hadn't scored a couple of goals in a while, right? And it just felt like he was overdue. And boy, did he deliver tonight with his first career hat trick. And all the goals. I don't know, it's hard to pick my favorite, but the first goal, when you have Brock Faber, Brock Faber is legitimately one of the best young defensemen in the NHL, right? He played top minutes for Team USA at the Four Nations. Brock Faber is a dude, legitimately a dude. And Celebrini was just nope, I'm scoring a goal here. And you and again, they had Marc-Andre Fleury, one of the best goalies of his generation, gave up 7 tonight. Again, Gorgiev gave up his fair share of goals tonight as well. But just what a performance from Celebrini. And I think, right, you look at nights like tonight with Celebrini with his 5 points, including, again, a hat trick we've been all waiting for. Will Smith tonight with a goal, the game-tying goal with under a minute left, that Kobe just assassin, you're not going to, we're going to get this done. Just getting the look on Smith's face after he scored, just ho-hum, yeah, I'm supposed to do this. But then, right, Smith, 3 assists as well, 2 primary assists tonight, 9 combined points between Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith. Yeah, guys, I think the Sharks are there's people talking about oh, the Sharks are going to be could they get Gavin McKenna? How do you look at what Celebrini and Smith do on nights like tonight? And then you have Askarov, who, spoiler, got a shutout tonight in the AHL. And the $40 million you have in cap space, and you're going to, with the reinforcements coming, how do you think this team is not going to be just much better next year? Right? Conversation for a different day, but still, it's oh, the Sharks are going to could get McKenna. No, not if Celebrini and Smith are going to be doing it. Will Smith's got 29 points in his last 30 games. He's basically been a point per player since the start of the new year. You don't think Will Smith's going to continue to get better? And again, you have $40 million in cap space this offseason. You can do whatever you want. You can sign, you can sign whoever you want. Getting them to sign here is a different conversation. But still, the Sharks are going to be huge players this off. It's one of the biggest off seasons in Sharks history because of what you have in Celebrini and Smith. These two guys have shown These are who you're building the franchise around. Macklin Celebrini doesn't turn 18 and for another 2 months, or doesn't turn 19 for another 2 months. Will Smith, who just turned 20 a month ago, they're doing this tonight. Wait till they get some more help, man. Wait till they have a goaltender who can actually stop the puck. Like, wait till they have some defense around them. Yeah, this is great. Great. So, big news, I think, for this performance, I think really kind of reawakens the Celebrini Calder, right? It had, even myself felt like, and I still do feel like it's Lane Hutson's to lose at this point, right? Especially the way Hudson's been playing. You look at the Canadians who've basically all but locked up a playoff spot at this point. They're right on the doorstep of going back to the playoffs here. And Lane Hudson's been breaking a lot of, rookie defenseman records, but like this performance from Celebrini vaults him right back into the conversation here. He's 2 points behind Hudson. And yes, the Calder is not like the Rocket where it's whoever has the most points wins. It's not that, but it does help, right? And you look at, again, Celebrini's played less games. He's been asked to do a lot on a very bad team. And if Celebrini flirts with that point per game, which he's now back in that conversation with this 5-point performance, there's a legitimate argument, right? And I think if Celebrini does get to that point per game, and he's at 62 points here in 66 games, so he's going to need a massive finish here. But again, we saw tonight, Celebrini has these games in him. 62 points in 66 games. So you're gonna need basically average 2 points per game here over the last few games to get to that point per game. But if you're the seventh 18-year-old player to be a point per game, I think it's gonna be really hard to ignore that conversation. So, and now Sharks also move one baby step closer to locking up the best odds heading into the draft lottery. So as of right now, here is the Tankathon standings. San Jose Sharks, 78 games played, 51 points, 14 regulation wins, 7 straight losses, 2-6-2 in their last 10. Chicago Blackhawks, 78 games played, 54 points, 19 regulation losses. They did lose 5-0 the other night. They played the Bruins, who stink in their next game on Thursday. They are 2-7. Chicago's 2-7-1. Nashville has locked up. They are going to have the third spot. So it doesn't matter what Nashville does the rest of the season. They will have the third best odds heading into the draft lottery here. So just as a reminder, if the Sharks and Blackhawks tie in points, the Sharks do have the regulation win. That's the first tiebreakers, regulation wins. The Sharks only have 14, right? While the Blackhawks have 19. So the Sharks would, it's impossible, right? If I do my math, it's impossible for them to tie. Like, the Sharks are going to have that tiebreaker with that scenario. So it doesn't matter if they have the same amount of points. Sharks have the first tiebreaker with the regulation wins there. So things are looking good. 5 points now. So that's basically still 3 regulation losses gets it done, or 2 regulation losses and an overtime loss, or whatever Chicago points earned. Subtract from that. So if Chicago wins tomorrow, the number becomes 3. That would be 3. That'd be 2 regulation losses, a regulation loss, and overtime loss. Whatever it is, it's that number. By the end of the weekend, we could have this thing locked up heading into the final few games here. So, but I think big night even though the Sharks lost, absolutely insane game. We'll talk about this game some more here. With the penalty kill being just brutal tonight, et cetera, et cetera. But you still have to feel like it's a big night for the organization because of what you saw from both Celebrini and Will Smith. And again, wait till they get some more dudes around them, which are coming. They got guys coming. So we'll break down this game some more, talk about the numbers, talk about the penalty kill, which has been an absolute tire fire as of late. And San Jose Barracuda on the verge of clinching a playoff spot. We'll get to all that here in just 1 second.
Do you have trouble sleeping? If so, you're not alone. That used to be me, lacking rest, tossing and turning. I was late for meetings. I never felt like myself. That's until I found Bare Mattress. Bare Mattress and their sleep recovery technology helped me fall asleep faster, as well as enjoy deeper sleeps. I felt like myself again, and you can too. Bare Mattress knows that every sleeper is different. That's why they have their sleep quiz on their website that finds you your perfect match. As a side sleeper, I matched with the Elite Hybrid mattress, and I've been telling everyone in my life they have to try Bare Mattress risk-free. You can sleep on your Bare Mattress up to 120 nights, and if you're not getting the best sleep of your life, you can get it refunded. They'll pick it up with absolutely no hassle. So go to bearmattress.com and use my promo code LOCKEDONNHL at checkout to get 40% off site-wide. This offer is not available anywhere else. You have to use my promo code on the very last page of checkout to get this discount. That's bearmattress.com. Use my promo code LOCKEDONNHL for 40% off site-wide. Bearmattress.com, promo code LOCKEDONNHL.
Of course, I want to thank you guys for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. If you haven't yet, perfect time to subscribe. We just dropped a new draft profile the other day. Our old friend Will Scouch discussing Matthew Schaefer. Great combination. So if you go check that out, we'll continue. We're going to focus more on, some of the late second or late first, early second round picks here with that. Of course, how do we spend $40 million in cap space this offseason? Plenty of great stuff coming here at Locked On Sharks. So make sure you're following along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. All right. This game was bananas. 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 I thought, like, if you watch my preview I do on YouTube, right, 10 minutes, I was like, this is going to be a grinded out type of game. I don't think either offense can score points. They laughed at my face because we had 15 combined goals. Then you match this with the Barracuda game, which we'll talk about a little bit. You had one goal in overtime as the Barracuda won 1-0. Hockey's the best. Both games entertaining in their own special ways, but still, this game, I think you point to one of the big differences in this game was the Sharks penalty kill, which has fallen off a cliff here as of late. And there's plenty of things to point to why that is, right? The Sharks defense, there's just so many new bodies in there. You've traded away all your good penalty killers. You think of guys like Nico Sturm and Mikael Granlund, Luke Cunnin, et cetera, like just too many bodies, too many moving pieces in that situation. And tonight, going 3 for 4 or going 1 for 4, I guess, on the penalty kill, giving up 3 power play goals. Not great, Bob. Not great. So I do think that is something that I like has been an issue with the Barracuda or with the Sharks. Sorry, excuse me. And I wonder if we see some potential changes in the offseason when it comes to structure and how they do it and potentially coaches, et cetera, et cetera. But tonight, the penalty kill just let them down. And also, I mean, Alexander Georgiev, not his greatest night tonight either as well. So, but let's look at this game more kind of 5-on-5 here. So we had 53-56 of 5-on-5 time. Shot attempts were 68-52 in favor of the Wild. Actual shots on goal at 5-on-5, 31-27. The Wild, again, a bajillion shots on the power play tonight. Scoring chances, though, 26-25 in favor of the Wild. High danger chances, 11-6 in favor of the Sharks. 2.37 to 2.15 expected goals for. 4 goals at 5-on-5 for the Wild, 6 for the Sharks. So, yeah. Sharks didn't even get a power play in this game. 0 of 0 on the power play. So, though I do like you look at, especially where the Sharks scored all their goals tonight, it was they got into the slot area, they got into the high danger areas, and they were able to score. And that's impressive against a very stingy Wild defense. I know tonight they wasn't their stingiest. I think stingiest is a word. They weren't their best tonight, right? And this was one of those games where coaches you burn the tape because it would turn into a track meet, right? But you do have to be impressed with how the Sharks were able to generate offense. And again, right, stingy Wild defense, good goalie and Marc-Andre Fleury. And I know Fleury's not his prime Fleury right now, but still, like, for a Sharks team that has struggled to score lately, this kind of felt like that explosion that they were waiting for. And Macklin Celebrini was the center of that explosion that we've been kind of waiting for from them. So do we expect 7 goals a night from the Sharks? No. But it's nice to see like that they can potentially start to, maybe not be like a less than 3 goal a game, 2.5, 3 goal. Like if we can start getting close to that 3 goal a game next year would be a big boost for this team. So looking at the lines, we had Will Smith, Macklin Celebrini, Nikolai Kovalenko played 13:57, 13 to 19 shot attempts, 6 to 8 actual shots, 3 goals for, 1 goal allowed, 0.54 to 0.43 expected goals for this line, 8 to 9 scoring chances, 4 to nothing high danger chances. Kovalenko taking advantage of his opportunities here. Had a goal tonight, beautiful feed from Celebrini. And right now, especially with Colin Graff playing with the Barracuda, this is a huge opportunity for him. And I think he's been playing pretty well these last 2 games here. So, see, he's one of those guys who I think needs to kind of build some momentum going into this offseason here. And just as a nice reminder of like, if you put me in opportunities to succeed, I can actually succeed for you. And I think Kovalenko looks like he might be kind of grabbing this opportunity for him. So Eklund, Wenberg, Toffoli. Good to see Tyler Toffoli back tonight. 13:46, 12 to 17 shot attempts, 6 to 9 actual shots. Had a goal, gave up a goal as well. Beautiful feed from Eklund to Toffoli. Toffoli doing his thing in the, like in that high slot area. Wenberg, they kind of announced it on they mentioned it a little bit on the broadcast, but don't think Wenberg is anywhere close to 100% right now. And I think he is kind of gutting through the end of the season right now for the Sharks. But, he has been little as great as he's played after the after the Four Nations break when he's been given a better role with better supporting cast. You have seen a little bit of a dip here, but I want to kind of probably point more to injuries at this point. So 0.36 to 0.79 expected goals, 4 to 7 scoring chances, 1 to 3 high danger chances for that line. Goodrow, Delanger, Carl Grundstrom. Grundstrom continuing to, again, kind of make a nice case here at the end of the season. 10 to 13 shot attempts, 10 to 11 actual shots, 5 to 3 shots for, and then no goals for this line. Grundstrom scored with Lund, so that's why there's no lines there. 0.27 to 0.16 expected goals, 4 to 3 scoring chances, 1 to 1 high danger chances, right? But I do think Grundstrom, who I kind of want to talk about on this line, like you're seeing him just kind of play that shoot as often as you can and get to the net. And like his goal tonight, right? He kind of fumbled the pass a little bit, and credit to Cam Lund, who were kind of being in the right place at the right time, getting the puck on net, and then Grundstrom just kind of driving to the net and getting a greasy goal, right? And those are going to be the goals that Carl Grundstrom scores. And, I think these past 2 games, whatever was said to him or whatever he's done differently, feels like Carl Grundstrom, maybe he knows, like, I'm fighting for my NHL career now or whatever it is. He's been playing much, much better, I think, the last couple games here. And then Noah Gregor, Zach Ostapchuk, and Cam Lund, 7-16, 7 to 8 shot attempts, 2 to 3 actual shots, 0.27 to 0.13 expected goals for, and then 3 to 3 scoring chances, 3 to nothing high danger chances. So pretty solid from that line as well. So I think maybe Ostapchuk might be starting to kind of find his footing here just a tiny bit. So, but I'll save Georgiev from his, the numbers. I do want to touch Mario Ferraro left this game. Of course, we don't know anything about it right now because we're not going to know anything, but left this game he blocked a shot with his foot. We know Mario Ferraro is an absolute madman and one of the toughest guys on the team. Did not return. We'll see, because he's the only Sharks player who has played every game this season, and as much as I've criticized Mario Ferraro on this podcast, still, if Ferraro's out, that's a big loss for a Sharks team that is very desperate for defensemen, right? They're basically running the 6 that they have right now. We'll see if Ruda or Desharnais is potentially available for Friday's game. If not, you might be dipping back into the Barracuda here for a Barracuda team that's got a big series this weekend against Ontario and a potential playoff matchup here this weekend. So, and I know they're getting. We'll talk about the Barracuda here in a second, but 1 point away from locking up their playoff spot. But still, you want to build some momentum going into the playoffs. So we'll talk about this Barracuda team some more here in just a second. As they have one of the most entertaining 1-0 games you're ever going to see. So we'll get to that here in just 1 second. Looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1-ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller, longer. Personally, I love the in-shell variety. I just like hearing the little crack of the shell. Just the plain salt flavor is for me. I'm pretty basic, but they have plenty of different flavors. They also have the no-shell variety, which is perfect for grab-and-go snack on busy days. You can throw them in your bag, throw them in your drawer at work, because, about 2:30, right? We all get those munchies there. So get snacking, get cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. All right. Before we finish up here, I do want to, of course, thank you guys for making a Locked On Sharks your first listen. When you're done with this episode, go check out the Locked On NHL Game Night. Every game, every night until a Stanley Cup champion is crowned. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find NHL Game Night on the Locked On NHL on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. All right, your San Jose Barracuda. Closing in, inching towards that to locking up their first playoff. It's been a long time since they could have been in the playoffs here. 1 point now. Basically, they need 1 point to get in the playoffs. So tonight, big win in what felt like very much like a playoff game. 1-0 win. Philip Beeson with the overtime winner here. Before we get to Askarov, we'll talk about him. I think tonight, though, was a good taste of playoff hockey for the Barracuda, who have been very much trying to deal with a lot of injuries or deal with some call-ups here, right? You don't have Andrew Podorowski. Half your defensemen are up with the Sharks, Carlson and Thompson. Those are big pieces for you. Jimmy Schultz came back, which is good. You don't have Shakir Mukhamadullin, who's out for the rest of the year. So you're running a lot of young defensemen. You have a lot of kind of moving pieces here. And this team, man, they keep fighting and they keep grinding. And tonight was a grinding type of game. Power plays, there was 6 power play opportunities for both Coachella and for the Barracuda. Of course, both teams went 0 for 6 on it. The penalty kill has definitely improved with Phil Bisa coming back. Patrick Giles has been a big piece for Genda. Like some of the forwards that they've added here, you can see the penalty kill being has been a huge kind of boost, especially after kind of slagging a little bit the last couple of weeks. Now that they've added some of their big pieces back, you're seeing the penalty kill be a huge asset for them again. But I thought it was right. This was a grindy, like tough. There was stuff after the whistles. Scott Sabrin just beat down a 18-year-old kid at some point who I don't think he knew who Scott Sabrin was before that. He definitely knows who Scott Sabrin is after this tonight. Somebody could basically like slides into Askarov. Sabrin comes up and just cross checks him in the face. The kid, I forget the kid's name, who like doesn't like it, basically kind of like grabs onto the back of Sabrin's jersey. Sabrin turns around and like just the crazy eyes that we've seen from Sabrin. It was a beatdown. You can go find it on social media. It was a beatdown. The Barracuda tweeted it out. It was yeah, poor kid. So, but I thought though the way the Barracuda like hung in there, right? The Coachella Valley kid, the goaltender, I think his name is Kako. Kid's gonna be really good, man. Like I've got to see him a couple of times now. Kid's gone like toe to toe with Askarov a couple of times, and he was excellent tonight. And the Barracuda could have easily put up 3 or 4 like in the first period alone, as they had some opportunities in this game, including a 5-on-3 power play. They had a 4-minute double major power play, and they just weren't able to find the back of the net. It wasn't for lack of trying. Like believe me, it wasn't for lack of trying. Just Kako. Both the goaltenders tonight were absolutely outstanding. Yaroslav Askarov with the shutout tonight, 24 saves. Was just like it was good to see, right? Especially when guys come back from injuries. I thought he was good the other night. Tonight was the like, oh yeah, Askarov is fully in control of this game. It's going to take either something stupid or like something perfect to score on Askarov tonight, and neither happened because he was just fully in control of this game. Like I said, I think Kako had to make some more difficult saves, and it looked easy. Definitely looked easier for Askarov of the 2 goalies. But like this was a nice confidence building win for the Barracuda, as they're again all but clinched a playoff spot at this point. Like it would take an absolute it would take a small miracle at this point. I think an absolute free for all, just disaster for them to not get in the playoffs here. So they currently sit. They're currently 4th. Pulling it up right now. 5th. Sorry, excuse me. They're 5th in the Pacific Division right now. They have 3 points behind Coachella, and they're 2 points ahead of the Wranglers. All 3 teams have 4 games left to play. Barracuda do again. They have a little bit tougher because they do play the Ontario Reign, who are 3rd in the division right now. They play the Reign this weekend. So Friday and Saturday, that's their last home stand here, and then they go out on the road. I'm pulling up their schedule right now. I should have had it in front of me, but anyway, so they do have a little bit tougher, and then they do play the Calgary Wranglers the following weekend. So this, if you can win 3 out of 4 here, you get 6 points. You're feeling really good about potentially hosting a playoff, hosting the first round playoffs here. Coachella, Coachella here, they are right because that's who you're trying to pass. Let's pull up the Coachella schedule here. So they're playing and their final 4 games. Sorry. Come on, Coachella Valley's schedule. So they are playing. They got Bakersfield on Saturday. Bakersfield's fighting for their playoff spot. They have San Diego on Sunday. San Diego's done, basically. Then they play Abbotsford and San Diego again. So Abbotsford's really good. But they definitely have kind of the easier of the schedule here. So I think you just want to kind of take care of the business that you can here. And I think getting 6 out of 8 points here would be, I think, huge for the Barracuda, and at least put them in a position to succeed. And then you hope, you're basically hoping like you need out of the 8 points. What is that? I'm trying. You can't let Coachella get more than 3 out of their final 8 here. So if you get 6 and they get 3, my math. And then I'm not sure what the tiebreakers are, but the Barracuda do have a better record. Well, I guess I can pull the tiebreakers right now. Games won in regulation wins. They do have that advantage, so you would need to win some of these in regulation, and then regulation. Yeah, Coachella's got some of the tiebreakers there. So Barracuda, yeah, you need to win like 3 of these games here, 3 out of 4 to have a realistic opportunity. If you get sweep, you feel really good about it. But that's gonna be it for me today. We'll be back tomorrow. Great night for the Sharks. Great night for the Barracuda. Again, I know the Sharks lost, but right, we have our eyes on bigger things here. So make sure you're following along wherever you get podcasts. Of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Locked On Sharks. Follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at My Fry Hole. Till tomorrow. Bye, friends.